Welcome back to the Vault, and this an episode of Story Time. The Vault doors are about to open and take us on another adventure taken from our archives. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content in the future. Today's story features one of the most influential and interesting but also controversial personalities from the history of ufology to date. Much like George Adamski, he has attracted a great deal of interest. There are many who doubt his claims and claim to have evidence to disprove him. But equally, many believe, many support, and many could also be described as followers of the faith. This is the story of the many alien encounters of Billy Myers. Billy Edaurd Meier was born on the 3rd of February 1937 in Bulak, Switzerland. He was the second of 7 children. His father was a shoemaker. Certainly known as a controversial author and teacher, he currently resides at Samjas Silver Star Center, the SSSC, in Switzerland, which he helped build and establish. For over 80 years, he has been regularly communicating face-to-face and telepathically with extraterrestrial human beings, inadvertently educating him and publishing that information in glorious detail. According to his published stories, he had seen a UFO as a child and subsequently heard a voice and saw mental pictures. These communications occurred daily, and he learned to respond to them telepathically. In 1944, he met a humanoid named Shafe and took his first ride in a saucer. Shafe told him that he had been chosen and would come to understand his special status at a later date. His telepathic contacts with Shafe continued for some years, but he was replaced after Mia's 16th birthday by Askit, a youthful female. These contacts existed side by side, with outward signs of an unsettled life. As a youth, Mia ran away from home several times, eventually landing in the French Foreign Legion. In 1958, he began a period of wandering through the Middle East and Southern Asia. Following an accident in 1965, he lost his left arm just above his elbow. He finally returned to Switzerland in 1970 and settled on a farm. On one of his long trips through the Orient is where he gained the nickname Billy from an American woman named Judy Reed. Edaurd Meier, wearing a black hat and a gun belt, reminded her of Billy the Kid, the legendary gunman of the Wild West. It was on the 28th of January 1975 that was the official start of Billy's mission. This is when he first met Semhas, a woman from the Pleiades, or Pleiades. Between January 1975 and the summer of 1996, Billy Meier had, besides a lot of unofficial, about 250 official, meaning with information for the public, contacts with extraterrestrials by the name of Semhas, Ptah, Quetzal, Askit, Nira, Talja, Manara, Plegia, Florina, and others, Most of these talks were written down and published in the contact notes, which are published in German only. Through these many years of contacts and from the alien humanoids themselves, the vessels in which they visited Billy became named beam ships, and there were many different types. The alien humanoids in which Billy had contact with were not all from the same area of space. We have mentioned the Pleiades, but there were also contactees from systems such as the Vega system, the Lyra system, the Dal universe, and the system Null. Other evidence that Billy Meier has brought forward to the public over his many contacts with the alien humanoids are biological and mineral and crystal samples, landing tracks, 8mm film footage, and also a 20-minute sound recording, apparently of one of the beam ships. An essential point to note from the contact notes and the many years of contacts that Billy Meier had with the alien humanoids and the discussions is the many predictions and prophecies that Billy Meier came away with and has shared with the public. These many prophecies and predictions cover a vast area of subjects ranging from the development of AI, climate change, war, and many specifics on military maneuvers, pandemics, and since sharing these prophecies and predictions in the 70s and early 80s, many have actually been proven to come true. Throughout the 70s, European media began to give Meier coverage and the controversy grew. His following also grew, and with money they raised, he moved to the property and farm in Switzerland that has been his headquarters ever since. Among the people who learned of the Meier claims were Louis Zinstag and Timothy Good, who were working on a biography of George Adamski, the original 1950s contactee. They brought copies of the Meier pictures to the United States and gave them to a contactee enthusiast, Wendell Stevens. Stevens visited Meier in October of 1977 and after investigating his claims created a company, Genesis 3 Productions Limited, to market the photos and the related stories. In 1979, a coffee table book, UFO Contact from the Pleiades, Volume 1, made the world aware of his claims. Additional books and several videos subsequently appeared. As controversy swelled around Meier, with most ufologists rejecting his contactee claims, in 1981, Carl K. Croft published the results in his investigation paper, The Meier Incident, the most infamous hoax in ufology. He demonstrated that Meier's photos were of small models held by string. He followed with a second book, Spaceships from Pleiades, in 1990. Among the most damaging discoveries concerned some pictures supposedly taken from space by Meier that turned out to be NASA photos. More people, however, read writer Gary Kinder's generally favorable book, Light Years. Stevens and his associates have remained staunch supporters of Meier and have contributed to distribute the many Genesis 3 publications through the 1990s. Stevens has edited a multi-volume series of Meier's contact notes. The Semhas Silver Star Center was opened as an American counterpart to the Meier organization in Europe, Switzerland. The Meier material freely circulated through the New Age movement, with New Age bookstores being a major means of distributing it. The impact of this material is visibly demonstrated in the prominence given the Pleiades in channeling material. Beginning in the late 1980s, a host of New Age channelers have regularly received messages from entities identifying themselves as Pleiadians. Whether you believe or don't believe in Billy Meier's encounters and his claims of alien humanoid contact, the years have been kind to his claims, especially regarding his prophecies. And not only does he have support from many around the world, but many around the world have joined his community and group called FIGU. That's an abbreviation for Free Community of Interest for the Border and Spiritual Sciences and Ufological Studies. Along with many now in the ufology community like Louis Zinstag and Timothy Good and Wendell Stevens, currently here in present day, there are many scientists and scholars who also believe in Billy Meier's claims and encounters. One such example is Matthew Wichkowitz, a career aerospace engineer who publicly endorsed the authenticity of the Billy Meier UFO case. To quote Wichkowitz, "I first encountered the Billy Meier case when I was studying aviation at ASU in 1978. I was also interested in the UFO phenomenon, and when the Meier photos were first released, I thought they were intriguing. But I fell for the CIA disinformation campaign which called them a hoax. So I paid them no attention for another 30 years, though I maintained an interest in the UFO phenomenon in general. Then in 2011, I saw an article on a news website that mentioned one of Billy Meier's claims had come true. So I went back and rediscovered the case and was surprised to see how much information is available compared to 1978. I went in with an open mind and spent the better part of 18 months reading all the material I could find, and finally came to the conclusion that it is real. Because of his aerospace engineering background, Wichkowitz is convinced Meier's UFO evidence is real, such as the newly authenticated 1981 photos of the controversial WCUFO and his 1975 film of the so-called pendulum UFO. And he isn't alone. Respected scientists like Michael Malin, who works for NASA Mars Mission, and David Fronin, long ago recognized the authenticity of Billy Meier's UFO evidence and the importance of his information on hyperspace propulsion. Recently, formerly skeptical physician and physicist Dr. Sanford Weinstein also endorsed Meier's information regarding Russian military movements that he published decades before they occurred. Another important point to note about the Billy Meier story is that from the years since 1975, multiple attempts to take Billy's life have been made. Two notable cases that really stand out were in 1998, and you can read about them in detail online. So whether you believe or not in Billy Meier's story and his many encounters, you cannot deny that he has had a great deal of influence on the world and history of ufology. His story is just as important today due to his prophecies and predictions that are still unfolding and still coming true. You cannot easily dismiss the importance of Billy's story and his encounters. Please let us know your thoughts, and please leave a comment and tell us what you think of the Billy Meier story. We hope you enjoyed this story time. Make sure to click that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks for watching.